But I mean, let's looking back to the weekend there just past. You were at Ibrox, is that right, Scott?
Yep.
In Sunday.
Yeah.
I mean, that was a huge result for Derek McInnes and Rangers. I mean, you don't want to say must win in August, but he had to get that victory, didn't he? And he got it in good fashion, didn't he?
He did. I mean, I actually said that in my match report. I mean, I deliberately watched Derek McInnes as the first couple of Rangers goals went in, and honestly, I mean, the relief on his face. I mean, he punched the air. He almost kind of looked to the sky and punched the air. No, that first goal went in, and then even.
Did I see Del wearing a wee cardigan on Sunday? Did
the wee Walter cardigan on.
Wee Walter cardigan. So obviously, we need to stick with that now, won't he?
That's a lucky charm, exactly. No, I mean, he looked as if. Honestly, I mean, we know Derek McInnes pretty well, and I've just been kind of the last couple of weeks almost been kind of concerned about him. I mean, it's early in his Rangers reign, but he was beginning to look like a man with the weight of the world on his shoulders, and that's why that victory on Sunday was so huge for him. And it wasn't just the victory; it was the manner of it. It was the 5 goals. It was he's been criticised for changing systems and players and stuff. But it was a formation that worked for him on Sunday, and I mean Rangers scored 5, could have scored more. I mean St Mirren, I think St Mirren will obviously look back on it and think they were a bit too open, a bit too expansive. They probably helped Rangers in that regard, but no, there's no getting away from the fact it was a really good performance. There was good individual performances within that. Obviously James Penrice coming on for his debut, I thought was terrific. Dragojevic, although he had a kind of loose pass for St Mirren's goal, he scored an absolute screamer and played really well in the game.
That goal was one of those goals that actually every time you watch it gets better and better, doesn't it? It's absolutely sensational.
Actually, I think I wrote at the weekend that it was one of the best goals Ibrox will have seen. And as I was writing, I was thinking, am I kind of over exaggerating here? But the more I watched it, I was like, I mean, there's no many better strikes than that Ibrox in terms of the technique and the volley and getting into the top corner. So no, it was brilliant. As I say, McInnes, the relief on his face when that goal went in was incredible. Look, they've still got a lot of work to do. There's still issues in there. No, he needs new. He still wants more quality. I think Emmanuel Fernandez is a worry for him at the back. I'm pretty sure that if Ben Godfrey was fit at the minute, Fernandez would be out the team. I do think that's an issue for Rangers at the minute.
What is the story with Fernandez just now, you think, Scott? Because he's got bags of ability, but he seems to lack concentration. He's positionally, he's indisciplined at times. He just doesn't look switched on this season so far, does he?
I think you're right. I mean, this guy was Rangers Player of the Year last season.
20 million quid plus for him.
Yeah, voted Player of the Year by the fans. It's interesting. I mean, I remember when he first signed, he actually said at his one of his first press conferences, when he was asked about his attributes and his weaknesses, he said himself his biggest weakness was concentration and focus. And I remember thinking at the time, that's really good. That's what I'm saying. I was thinking at the time, that's good that he's recognised that early in his career, and that's something that he can fix. You think that would be an easy fix, but we're now over a year down the line, and he's still doing the same things. So lackadaisical, too laid back, too casual. There was a point in Sunday, Rangers had just scored. I can't remember if it was the first goal or the second goal. I think it was the second goal, Dragojevic's strike. And the whole place was up. The punters were singing. There was a real positive energy after that goal went in. Rangers going 2-0 up. And literally for the first ball, St Mirren played forward after the goal. Fernandez dilly-dallied. He hesitated. He tried to be too fancy and casual. Sula, St Mirren striker, kind of got into a tangle with him. Almost get the ball off him, get in, and Fernandez had to give away a corner. And in a split second, the crowd went from there to there, getting right on his back.
Yeah.
And you just think that's real poor game intelligence for Fernandez and awareness. And I suppose, does that come from the fact that you almost forget this a boy that's came from non-league football in England to Peterborough, and then he's made this he's made this jump to Rangers, and as you see, all of a sudden he's getting linked with Bundesliga clubs at the end of last season. I don't know whether that's got into his head, but he's the fact that he's not improved that aspect of his game is a real worry. And I think for the start of this season, you're right, he just hasn't looked on it, hasn't looked focused. And as I say, it's no secret Derek McInnes wants another centre back in. Right. But I think even now, if Godfrey was fit, I think he'd been ahead of Fernandez.
Right. The real positive, mind you, I think was Penrice coming in. I think I actually felt a wee bit sorry for him because he arrived at that kind of period when the days after the kind of the European exit, the Europa League exit, and everyone was a bit grumpy. And he arrived, and listen, it's maybe not the most glamorous signing in the world because we know him from Hearts and Livy and all that stuff, and people may thought he's a kind of backup left back. And I know he's a kind of Rangers supporter and all that stuff. It's his dream move, but I felt a bit sorry for him that there wasn't exactly a fanfare for him arriving. It was more of a kind of shrug. All right, okay, he's a squad guy, but I thought he was terrific, and right away it changed. The opinion seems to have changed on right away. Like he was all action, and he got his goal, he got an assist, and all of a sudden you think not only is he maybe better than some people remembered from him. I thought he was terrific at Hearts. And by all accounts, he's been brilliant in Greece. So he's come back, looks a cracking player, and all of a sudden you think this guy's going to not just be back up to the Romans when he gets fit, he's going to compete, and there's every chance he could have that jersey.
Yep, I think you're right, Nick. I was probably guilty myself because on Sunday when he comes into the team and I see him playing like that, to me actually he looks stronger than he was. He looks stronger now than he was when he left Hearts, and I know he's been to AEK Athens and no played as much as he'd like, but I mean he still goes there and wins a title and contributes. But whatever he's been doing over there, I think he's come back looking actually stronger and more confident. Even we interviewed him after the game, and I was saying to him, because I could actually see him on the pitch, not just in terms of his ability, but you could see him shouting at other players, dragging people into position and stuff. And I thought, well, for a young guy coming into a new club, as you say, he'd only been there 48 hours. You've got to have a wee bit about you to do that in your first game at Ibrox. But he did. I thought he was, for a debut, as you say, a goal and an assist. I think the assist was actually more impressive. The pass for Gassama, the first time pass is brilliant. And that's what impressed me most about him on Sunday. See a lot of fullbacks now and wide players, and when the ball gets played to them, they only decide what they're going to do with it when the ball gets to them. Penrice knew what he was going to do with every pass before he got it on Sunday. If it was on just to play it simple, he did that. If he had a bit of time to turn and get it up the line or play inside, he knew what he was going to do at every point. And Romans actually had a poor start to the season before getting injured. So Penrice, for what Rangers have had this season so far, was an upgrade. And I agree with you. I think even when Romans gets back fit, it's talking 6-7 weeks before he gets back, I think he's going to have a fight in his hands to get back. But listen, that's what Rangers should want. Romans, you could argue Romans maybe picked up the injury because he had to play the full pre-season, the friendlies, and then the games at the start of the season because there was no competition there.
Yeah,
he's going to come back. And he's going to need to battle it out with Penrice for the left back slot, and that can only be good for them.
Yeah, I mean, Rangers are still thinking, it's hunky dory after a 5-1 win, but they still look a wee bit short. I know there's a bit of talk today about the Brighton winger. Is it Cozier Dewberry?
Yeah.
It looks like a guy who's in demand. Talking £7 million plus. They're in that market, aren't they, for some sort of attacking wide player?
I think they definitely want another right winger and a left winger.
Yeah.
Even though Daisuke Yakota's come in on the right, Derek McInnes wants another one because apart from him, he's got nobody in the building that wants to play on the right. I know Finlay Curtis came on there at half time and played well at the weekend, but he wants to play in the left. Gassama wants to play in the left. Antman before he left wanted to play in the left. Even Asgard, if you're going to play him wide, he comes for the left as well. I think he wants a first choice left winger and another right winger. I think the other right winger is Cozier Dewberry. I think he is the guy I know that Derek McInnes really rates him, really likes him, but the problem for them is getting him out of Brighton for the right price. And you're right, no, they've gone back in for him in the last kind of 24 hours. It looks as if another bid has been rejected. It is up to the kind of £6-7 million mark, which is obviously a big outlay for them. So the next move's going to be interesting. Do they go back in for him with a higher offer because he is the guy that Derek McInnes wants, or does it just get too costly for him? For a guy who, let's be honest, I think he looks a really good player, Cozier Dubry, but a lot of it, you're going off of what he did at Bolton last season, League One and up to the Championship. So do you really want to be paying that amount of money for a young guy who's only been at that kind of level? These are the questions that Rangers will need to ask themselves before they go back in.
It's an expensive market as well, isn't it, down there? I mean, it doesn't. I mean, 7-8 million, 10 million doesn't get you much these days, unfortunately, that market. But that's going to be a busy fortnight, isn't it? I was going to say,
they want to try and get somebody in before Thursday.
Yeah.
Penrice, they've only got 2 changes to the European squad. Penrice is going to take up one of them. I think Derek McInnes would love to get one done before Thursday so that they could get him into the squad for the conference playoff against Jablonec. I hope I've pronounced that right. But if they could get one more in before Thursday, I think it would really help them. But it's a race against time now.
Aye, we'll build up to that tie as the week goes on, no doubt as well. But I've seen the draw for the cup draw. I mean, how's your holidays for September, Scotty? Have you got a couple of weeks off to take?
I'll be putting a couple in now.
I must admit, and I'm looking at the holiday board, see what's available in September. Another Derby double header week, and I think there's Champions League and Europa League in there as well somewhere, potentially. So, oh dear. Listen, we'll burn that bridge when we get to it.